people? Hope you're all good. I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be an exciting video. Leeds United Youth Academy is known for producing a lot of talent. Every year we get one or two that come through that setup into the first team or in and around the first team. And it's harbored a lot of talent in the past and in the present. You look at Archie Gray currently. You know, a few years ago, you look at Lewis Cook, Charlie Taylor, Sam Byram. All these names came through that setup. Players that went on to have Premier League careers and good careers. And people like James Milner, Fabian Delph, you know, came in, obviously, and who've gone and played for England. And that hasn't changed. There's still a lot of talent there. This year, the youth team went on a really good youth run in the FA Cup. A really good run. Got to the final against Man City and unfortunately lost. And I had the pleasure of watching that run. And from that game, some unbelievable talents. And I picked a few of them out today. Players that I believe would, at some point, be around that first team. And let me just clarify this. So much young talent. I had to just pick a few. And the ones that just captured me a little bit more. Right? Just as I'm watching. And that's what it's about. So much youth talent in this side. I could pick players out. I'll give some honourable mentions. But you've got to be careful. You know, I don't want to get players that are too young because they're so young that there is so much more development. For example, you know, Archie's brother will not be in this because he is very young and I've not actually watched him this season, despite everyone talking about him. This is from who captured my imagination and made me go, wow, that's a good player. That's a talent. But yeah, let's get right into it. Let's go. And as you can see, the first one is Joe Snowden. And let me just clarify this. You know, this is not a thing where I'm going, these are going to make it the first team. These are players I've liked that I think could be in with a shout, with at least getting to train with the first team and learn to develop and maybe see what goes on from there. They're not players that I'm sitting here saying are going to make the first team and play 40 games next season. That is not what I'm doing. The players I believe have a lot of talent and players I believe have a clear pathway if they continue to develop the way they are. And maybe one of them might break into that first team. Who knows? But Joe Snowden's an interesting one. He won Player of the Year for the Under-21s this season, and the problem with Joe Snowden straight away, he's had these little injuries that have kept him out for quite a few games for the last few years. That's really kind of slowed down that first team. I think getting to that first team, I believe, a little bit. But this year, again, when he was available, he had a really good second half of the season. You know, the midfielder who, as you can see, versatile player who can play many midfield positions. And that's what's good about him. Came through the youth ranks at City, joined Leeds under-18s in 2022, been in the 21s this year, and has got the Player of the Year for the 21s. His versatility is something that really impressed me. 12 appearances in Premier League 2, 4 goals, 1 assist. 20 years old, so a little bit older than most in this list, and that's why I put him in, because as a player now who's reached that 21s level, became the Player of the Year this season in the 21s, and he's actually out of contract. And by this video goes out, we will know the retained list, so we'll know whether he's in that or not. So, what happens here? He's a talented player, and that's what I mean. Will he get a shot? Will we extend that contract? Who knows? But he's definitely a player that, regardless of if he's at Leeds or not next season, a player I believe has the technical ability, the quality, and the brains. He's a really smart player. His movement is excellent. A player I believe genuinely can play in the EFL and will have a good career if everything goes his way and things work out. And I'll get into them real quick now. Key strengths from his ball control. Something that when he gets that ball, his first touch is always, you know, progressive. It's always, a lot of the time, it can kind of set up the direction in which he's going to run, move, you know, system awareness. Something about Joe Snowden that probably his biggest off-the-ball trait is that off-the-ball movement, that system awareness, understanding the best action to take off the ball to create space or find space for himself to receive the pass. A really smart player. That's something that really captured when I'm watching him. You can see he's always thinking about the game tactically, and that's something that's really good for a young player. And yeah, that's it. You know, in terms of strengths, the things that stand out for him are what he can do that helps the game easier, really progresses the game from a tactical perspective and really helps the team. Really good on the ball, really solid on the ball. 1-2 movements, ball control, decent with his feet, decent at finding a pass as well. His passing range is decent. Some improvements, injuries again, that's down to the body. He has some little niggles in the last few years that have slowed his progress down potentially. And defining his game, kind of figuring out that specialist position for me. He's played a lot of everywhere because he has that core technical ability, so he can do that. Kind of defining his game as to finding a position where he really can excel and develop year in, year out to find within a team. You know, you don't want to go down that hole really where he's decent in every position, but can't really be an expert in one. I think he has the potential and the ability to do that. So, yeah, thinking one of him because he's a little older. Whether he'll be here when this video comes out, we'll find out. But a player that was really good this year for the 21s and really stepped up, and surely must be on the shout of at least been part of that training squad for the first team. But we'll see. Football is tough. Football is hard. There's a lot of competition in this squad. So we'll see what happens. But a player I believe has a good future ahead of him, definitely. The second one, now we're getting to that under-18 group that really impressed me in the FA Cup. And this guy, honestly, probably impressed me the most, if I'm being brutally honest. Ruben Lapata-White. And one thing that really stood out for me was the physical aspect. How big he is. He's huge. I saw a picture of him last year when he first arrived at the under-18s. And yeah, he's grown, let me put it that way. Throughout the season, he's grown a lot from the picture that was at the start of the season to the end of it. And as an 18-year-old centre-back, as you can see there, number 5, the centre-back position, he is a player who, when it gets to the big stages, relies on height. A lot of problem with centre-backs in the youth league is that development in physicality. That height doesn't quite get there, that shape doesn't quite get there, which means they might struggle unless they're technically unbelievable. But Ruben Lapata-White has that height, he has that physicality, but he's also quick. He's got all the core physical attributes to make it as a centre-back. And one thing that also really impressed me about this guy is his ability to be balanced on the pitch in terms of distribution. His ability with the ball, his ability to pass the ball is excellent. A player that's really impressed me, genuinely, when I was watching, calm and assured on the ball, not scared to take risks, other things like that. But a player that came through the youth, as you can see here, straight through the youth, came through the youth, under 18s, and has played 2 or 3 games for the under 21s this season. 14 appearances though in the Premier League, under 18s Premier League, with 3 assists from centre back, which is pretty decent. And that's to do with his progression. And like I said, this is not me saying these players are going to make it, even at Leeds. But it's what I'm saying is I've been impressed by what I've seen. And the players I believe, if they continue to develop, have a shot. And it's hard as a centre-back because it's to at least get far, because you can be good on the ball, but you understand in the Championship or whatever level you're at, professional football, that you're going to need that physicality, especially in the Championship and leagues like that, especially in the Premier League. So the fact that at 18, he's already shown that initial unbelievable growth spurt, added that with his technical ability on the ball. We've got a talent on our hands, let's just say that. And it's shown by his strengths, physical attributes, like I've just expressed, all there. On the ball passing range, but more importantly, that passing detail, something that is underrated in the game. Passing detail is basically the weight of the pass, the speed of the pass, the aggression on the pass. You see a lot of passes that are often slow, kind of curled too much, don't really get to the intended marker in time. It's often slower and then it slows the move down. Lapata-White's passing range is excellent. His pass detail is excellent. It goes quick, into feet, solid passes, and that's what I like. And an 18-year-old to have that technique, that technical ability, it is impressive. There's a lot of things going for this guy, genuinely. The centre-back's tough. It is tough, and a few improvements I've made there is concentration. This is usually off the ball, learning when to engage the runner and when not to. There's often times where he is often caught in 2 minds whether to engage or sit, and then he gets beat because that you can see he's thinking about it in his brain. And again, these are improvements, they're not weaknesses, because these are things that, as a person of 18 years old, they will still have to develop, right? That's key. That's an important part of their development, and everyone needs areas to develop, especially at this age. Positional awareness goes into that concentration bit, just understanding at times the positional awareness side of it, and confidence. Yeah, play with all the ability on the ball, but especially in that City game, and that was, with the crowd there and all the pressure, didn't really take that risk with his passing that he often does in other games. Maybe obviously with the final, with him being young, it all makes sense, people. Like I said, it's fine. It's just something that I analysed that I thought, be a bit more confident. You've got that passing range. There was times where he could have drove and he didn't, and yeah, that's something to learn. And once he learns that and unlocks his full potential of what he has at his disposal, which is that unbelievable physical attributes. Got talent on our hands. It's like I said, centre back's tough, and we've got a lot of good ones at the club. There's a lot in the 21s. There's obviously Creswell's younger brother, who's very young. Well, I'm not including any of those guys in this, but the player, Lapata White here, who I believe could, and this is important, guy, I'm saying guys, could develop into a Leeds United player 100%, because again, there's little details that it needs to improve on to get to that level, of course, and that could take 1 year, 2 years, we don't know. But I believe he has that within him. He's shown that, and that's the most important thing. He's shown that to me, and that's why I'm making this video on him. Yeah, good player, keep an eye out, definitely. Josh McDonald. Yeah. This guy is very, very talented. And remember though, talent doesn't always mean you're going to make it in football. But it helps. His raw talent is ridiculous. Genuinely watching this guy this season, massive Somerville vibes in his style of play. 100%. Remember when Somerville was similar age to him, slightly older, playing in the 21s, and it's similar to that. The development there, the path is there. Josh McDonald is a very good player. Came in from Hamilton Academical in 2023, this year. Well, last year, season ago. And very quickly, he went to the 18s. And then very quickly, this year, a few days ago actually, he got his first pro contract to 2026. So that's a player there that they know has potential. They know they couldn't develop. A left winger, just like some of our right foot left winger, loves to cut inside, loves to commit defenders 1v1, aggressive dribbler, has decent end product. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? The trajectory beneath me is shown, you know, you can't see it because of my head, but you just see under there. First pro contract as of a few days ago. A talented player whose trajectory, as you can see, is on the up. Getting a pro contract that quickly, for instance, been at the club a year, is very impressive. And honestly, guys, look at his appearances there. 22 appearances, 7 goals, 6 assists. Yeah, this guy's talented. There's a lot to go and a lot of development to go to make it. Of course there is. And that I keep saying, he's just turned 17. But to get that pro contract, having just turned 17, is impressive. So fair play to him. He's done really well to get to here in his career. Most people don't make it this far, and hopefully can keep progressing because he's a very talented player. Let's get into his strengths and improvements. Yeah, ball control, dribbling. Anything you associate with Chris Somerville at that level is kind of similar in the playing style. Unbelievable ball control, dribbling. So hard to get it off, that close control. Manipulating the balls, a little bit of skill, step up as he has to. Positional awareness in an attacking sense, always seems to find where the space is, even without the ball or when receiving the ball. Always seems to know where that attacking space is. End product. Something that is often lacking from these types of players, these flair players, is that end product. But not for this guy. Not for this guy at all. He does have that. Can improve in terms of his distribution, which I'll talk about. Definitely, he's got that mentality. There's a lot of times this season where he's in games, Leeds have been struggling, and he's been the outlet. A lot of times they've give him the ball, they put the responsibility on him to create something, and even when he's been cramping, he's clearly knackered. He takes that responsibility and he doesn't crumble. He does everything, he gets on with it. He knows his role, he understands what he can do with the ball. He has that confidence about him, which I love. And he's got that, give me the ball, I'll do it about him. And you like that because that pushes you more. And like I said, guys, this guy's, if Cree was a few years younger, it's very similar. Of course, not talking about he's as good as Chris Somerville, because Chris Somerville is a pro at 22 years old. This guy's just turned 17. Let me clarify that again, because I have to, because it's important. But in terms of style of play, attributes, if you see them developing, you can see them developing into a similar player as Chris Somerville in terms of how he plays. The level Chris Somerville is ridiculous, and most footballers don't make that level, but to get anywhere near that is impressive, and this guy's got a big future if everything goes right, definitely. Improvements, decision making, look, good end product, But at times, just like Cree, I'd hold on to it too much and make them wrong decisions. Should find a teammate across. He's got that selfishness about him, which a lot of flair players have, and you need to have that cutting edge at times. Of course, it can be frustrating, but it can also be the reason you win games. Fitness, yeah, this is a tough one because they're so young and they're developing. But 2 or 3 times I've seen this year, he has been 70th minute blowing with cramp at times as well. But I think that's just part of it. Again, they use him a lot. They really rely on him later on in games, so that's something that you'll have to deal with because when you're that good and you've got that much talent, and you can change a game like that, you're going to be relied on. Natural physical attributes, these are things as a winger that will develop that muscle growth that he does need to develop. Of course, we look at Cree, look at his body in the last 2 or 3 years, how he's really grown muscle. He's not big, he's not massive, but he's really developed his body and conditioned himself really well. So yeah, Josh McDonald, good player. Very young though, let me just clarify, very young. And has a long time to grow. 2 or 3 years, you're still 19, 20. It's very long time to grow. So, yeah, just a guy that really impressed me this season. And the final one, you saw it there, Charlie Crew. And we can talk about this guy because this guy's actually been on the bench for the first team 3 times this season. 3 times at 17 years old. Not only that, he's just been called up to the Wales first team. Got him in August 22 from the Cardiff youth setup. July 23 into the under-18s, and then March 24 got his call up for the first team. Obviously didn't play, but that defensive midfielder, very solid on the ball, unbelievable kind of calmness on the ball and ability to find a passing technique is on point. A player that's trajectory, just look at the trajectory there, literally 2 years ago he was in Cardiff youth. 2 years later, he's getting called up for the national team. The Wales first national team, the main squad. And he's had 3 bench appearances for the first team at Leeds United at 17. That's trajectory. That's a player to watch. And I'm confident because he's been in that first team squad, I can be a bit more boyish. That he is a guy we might see a bit of next season. And this is important though because depending on who we bring in, it might be really tough. Could be a potential of a loan there. He might just sit the bench for a year and learn to develop and learn. He might go back to the 21s and really establish there. Point is, he's had them first team bench appearances. So this is the club saying, we believe in you. We think you are close. Just need to learn that experience now. And he is. If you watch him play, people, he's so calm on the ball. His passing range is excellent. His awareness on the pitch is excellent. For a guy in that CDM role as well, his close control and his technical ability is good. His ability to spin out of a problem, if he's looking one way, he's being pressed, beating the press. He can do that. Really good on the ball. Really good. Honestly, look, like I said, the trajectory is ridiculous. The fact at 17 that you're getting called up to the national team and the first team Leeds United with the competition we have is a credit to you and a credit to your development and a credit to the coach and you putting your head down and working hard. You do that, you've already shown that we'll believe in you. You'll have a good future. I just realised I hadn't even done a strengths and weaknesses page. So one thing I think he needs to develop, and again, this is development, this is the point, is that physical side of it. There's at times at games where he often gets caught on it and he can get, physically beaten on the ball. So that is something that will need to develop, especially in that 6 role. It's good to have that passing range, but at this level, you do need that physical side to you. Just look at Ampadu, Phillips, the 6 that we've had recently. They've all got a little bit of physical about them. Again, he's 17. He will learn. He will grow as he develops, as he gets older. He will build that muscle. He will build that conditioning. But apart from that, right now at his age, I think he just needs to hone in on what he's got, the ability he's got. Be patient. He's already shown that the club like him. They want him to be part of this. So you just got to be patient now. Whether that means loan, whether that means stay, who knows? But that patience is key because he has a good future ahead of him. He really does. All about patience. Just keep putting your head down, keep working hard, keep developing, keep growing. Allow yourself to grow, of course. And you've got a good future ahead of you. That's it. There's loads of others I could have said, thinking at the top of my head. Max McFadden, obviously younger Archie, the younger Gray. Apologies. There's loads of players. There really is. There genuinely really is. There's goalkeepers as well. The 2 goalkeepers we have for the youth teams are very impressive. So that might be something we'll look forward to. But like I said, these are just guys that I've seen and really impressed me. Honestly, they just have. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is not a saying these guys are going to make it Leeds United. This is saying these guys have developed well this year and really impressed me watching them, which means I think they might have a chance to be in and around that first team next year, this year, or the year after. You know, that's all I'm saying. And they have a chance as well. I'm not saying they will. This football is unbelievably tough to make it to that level. Unbelievably tough. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed that one. A little bit something different. Just some players to look out for. Really good players in there as well. There's a lot in the youth ranks that I've not even mentioned, best believe. I honestly could do an 11, but I'm not going to because that's just not fair. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Any more names you guys want to mention as well, because there's loads, like I said. So yeah, I appreciate the support. Have a good day. Peace.